Milling Through History presents the Remey Tomb. In the woods of Lorton, Virginia, there is a structure steeped in mystery called the Remeum. Beginning its construction in 1939, the Remeum, also known as the Remey Tomb or Crypt, was built by Charles Mason Remey. At the time, it was one of the most expensive projects found in Northern Virginia, having cost well over $1 million and having almost an equal number of bricks used to create the structure. Although it was never completed by the time of the early 1950s, the structure itself became a focal point of mystery and intrigue by local residents and especially local youths. The design of the tomb was meant to follow the temple design of those who were part of the Baha'i faith, which is an Abrahamic religion whose basic tenets and principles were to combine all aspects of all other religions, thus making it a single unifying religion. Now, the tomb was designed specifically to be the family crypt of the Remey family and those affiliated branches which formed the whole core group. However, by the middle of the 1950s, the tomb itself, while not completely finished, became a curiosity for those who were wondering exactly what it was that was being done there. And so people began to break into the crypt, mostly out of curiosity. As a result of this, urban legends began to spring up about the tomb, and a legal battle would ensue between the Remey family and local government officials in Northern Virginia. This particular legal court case would last for the span of 10 years, and in that time, it became evidently clear that the tomb would never be completed, and any chance of its completion could never go forward, as there would be too many people wanting to gawk at the structure and interfere with its construction. As such, Charles Remey was forced to give back the land of his tomb to local officials in Northern Virginia. As a result of his returning the property to Northern Virginia, church officials found themselves having to take care of the property, but not wanting to deal with everything that was there, opted to begin tearing it down, pulling back its mystique and effectively trying to bury it in front of everyone's eyes. The problem, though, is that by tearing down a number of the outer walls of the structure, it would open up the entrance to the interior and allow people to begin sneaking into the underground crypts. As such, teens throughout the late 60s and early 70s would begin going to this location to have massive parties. And with these parties invariably came vandalism. As a result of this, church officials soon discovered they were liable for any injuries that might occur from these individuals who were breaking into the tomb. Because of this, they opted in 1983 to cover up the entire tomb itself, thus ensuring no one could get in. Ironically, in its attempt to go ahead and cover up the tomb and make it disappear, local church officials did more to help exacerbate the urban legend aspect of the Remey tomb than had they just gone ahead and left it alone. Debate amongst people who have been to the tomb, along with those who have heard the story, has been rampant over the years, especially with the advent of the internet. Discussion groups and articles have been published in it discussing whether or not the Remey tomb was a singular floor structure or if it was a multi-tier underground crypt. Some witnesses claim that there were up to 5 levels, but what is known was what was found inside. For Charles Remey had created large statues, beautiful statues at that, of his parents and of other members of his family. Sadly, these particular structures found themselves vandalized throughout the 60s and 70s, and thus were left in ruin even after all the family bodies had been removed from the crypt. Today, The only thing that's really left of the tomb is a singular obelisk along with two chimney vents. And it is from these vents that people are convinced that there are multiple levels inside of the crypt. Now, while local church officials were able to get rid of the majority of the structures and planted trees to cover up the footprint of this particular tomb, there are still those adventurers who find themselves going out and finding ways into the tomb, or at least they claim they have been able to get into the tomb. No recent photographs have ever occurred which will allow people to know whether or not anyone has successfully been able to get back into the Remey Tomb. As such, no one will ever know specifically whether or not there is actually a hidden treasure found within the tomb, or if it really is a multi-level structure. Will we ever know? It's hard to say. But wherever there are people who are looking for adventure, there's most likely going to be someone who will one day stumble upon the tomb and say to themselves they want to go ahead and peer inside. And when they do, who knows, maybe they will discover the truth behind this rather unique piece found in Northern Virginia. For more information, please consider these suggested titles. Be sure to click on the left-hand side of the screen to subscribe to our show, and on the right-hand side for our latest episode. And we will see you again for the next episode of Milling Through History.